Welcome, I'm Kenneth Andre, Tenjitsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Everything that I share and say and do is for a reason. If there sounds like a contradiction, there isn't, investigate further. Again, I am not a part of any religious belief system, any belief system of this world, okay? Now, I've got something I want to share with you and record and document. Before I do, I want to make you aware of something. And I'm going to approach this by telling you of a story I heard many years ago. And I heard this story like a message for a reason. Many years ago, one night I was on patrol with my army mate, and we stopped in this location and he told me a story. Now, this mate of mine was Scottish, and he was telling me of a time when he was doing selection. He was trying to join a specialist branch of the British Armed Forces. And he starts telling me about this experience he had. And I just knew, especially with hindsight, I had to receive this message. He said, Andre, I failed the selection course, and I burst out laughing. I said, how? What did you do? He said, there was this exercise that he had to pass. When he was telling me the exercise, I couldn't stop laughing my head off. I thought it was going to be something outrageous, the exercise he was about to present to me, that he would have to negotiate. Only he starts telling me he gets put up in this rural area on sentry and told by a DS, someone who's monitoring them and testing them, okay, like a range control, someone who controls the exercise, tells my friend, I want you to lay in this sentry, in this position, and look out for the enemy coming in this direction. When they approach towards you and reach this distance, open fire on them. And my mate was like, I can do that. Lays down in his sentry. Lays watching, waiting. Hours have passed. The DS turns up. Tells him, I want you to face this direction and look for the oncoming enemy. All right? He's like, okay, I've been here for hours now. That's okay. You keep watching. He's there for hours. He's getting agitated. All right? The DS comes back. Tells him, right, I want you to face this way and look for the enemy. And my friend is getting very frustrated. Huffs, points his weapon in a direction of the possible enemy approaching, and waits for more hours. Days had passed. The DS comes up and tells him, I want you to face this direction, in which my mate responds, for fuck's sake, excuse my language. The DS says, okay, up you get, you can go. Goes back to the vehicle, finishes the course, and at the end he's failed. And I said, why? It's the endurance and patience, okay? The obedience to lay there and wait and watch, okay, regardless of you being uncomfortable and being there for hours and days. It was your patience, endurance. They were testing his mental endurance, his patience. But he was being monitored through the whole process, and he was basically giving himself away and not paying attention because of he was thinking of other things than what was tasked for him to do. Okay. Now, with all my experiences in the British Armed Forces, I've translated the things I've learned in the army over to the spiritual side of my awakening, and it's assisted me beyond measure. Like I said, Father's groomed me through my whole life for a time like this. I studied ninjutsu, tengu-jitsu, an ancient form of the mountain Japanese ninja, an ancient martial art form from mountain heretics. And these were ancient clans, and they raised ninjas up from childhood, from 5 years old. And the one thing they would look for in a warrior is patience, is endurance, is stability. With all this learning and paying attention, when it comes to watching, learning, persevering with spirit, these skills, this knowledge I've learned from my life has helped me to persevere, to stand steadfast with the things that I'm being presented by Father. It was for a reason. I have seen so many people come and go when it comes to certain hobbies. Now, with my spiritual awakening, watching and waiting for a transformation, I have seen people come and go. Very few are chosen. The call's gone out, but very few make it. However, many of you are sealed and in the book of life. And with the things that we've received over the years, we know the importance, the significance of the things we have received. We're all in. We're not going to just give up, because we know Father is guiding us through the wilderness to a better place, a better you. You must stick with it. Yes, it's a lot of learning and it gets exhausting, but you must keep soldiering on, as told us by Jesus in the Bible. Okay, get up, soldier, and keep going on. We must, as it says, win the race, and we keep going forward towards the goal. Leave the world alone. It's so easy to follow the dark brotherhood, as mentioned by Thoth, because you don't have to use your mind. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit there and let the vampiric cannibalistic system send you back to sleep and feed off you. Don't do it, guys, because at the end, it's going to be worth it. And you will be in that rank, in that position, where you'll never go back again. I've learned so much in the armed forces and obtained a lot. Not just with the armed forces, but with my life. And I got into this attitude. We suffer now, but we are growing. If we just persevere, we know that there's an end. It's coming. The one thing you could be assured of is change. So let's just get through this. When it comes to the end, as we're told in scripture, it's going to be more than worth it. And once the event happens, that's the end of these ages forever. And what is promised to you is a wonderful future. Everything is going to be all right. We just keep going forward and watching. I've got something I want to share with you. Also, do not ever listen to the negativity from anyone else, especially from this world. When I was a kid, I remember a teacher told me I would amount to nothing if they could only see me now. The things that I've learned in this life, the things I've obtained in the British Armed Forces. Not only did I do the Queen's Guard, jungle training, I've become a driver, driving all vehicles, HGV, you name it. I've become a mortarman, anti-tanks, search specialist. I trained to become a PTI. I've become a deep sea diver. I joined the Military Province Guard Service with, as it's termed, old dogs. There's lots more that I've learned. I'm trying to remember it all. Then I became an instructor, and I was learning so much from these old dogs, old soldiers, and the skills, that one day I found myself in a classroom teaching soldiers, giving a lesson that I put together myself. And I was told when I was a kid by a teacher, I will amount to nothing. I look at this as though, Father, you like a challenge. You've overcome every negativity this world has tried to tell me. And you've done the works in me and said, nah, he's mine. I'll prove you wrong. I know what I'm sharing in this channel is from our Father. I'm here to glorify our Father's name. Many would not believe what's hidden in this channel. It's all from our loving Father, not from me. Now, I'm not saying this to boast, but being self-reliant, I've learnt to cook. I learnt to do my own DIY. I've learnt to fix a wash machine. I've learnt all these wonderful skills from Father. I'm a survival specialist, being able to live off the land and in the wilderness. These are ancient skills we should know today, not relying on the external agencies to provide everything for us. It makes us weak. In the ancient times of wise men, they readdressed never forget these skills. Many are lured into a false sense of security where it's made them weak, and their attention span is that of TikTok, which leaves you vulnerable to attacks from unseen forces. Now, again, many of you are sealed and in the book of life and are protected. You could not get through this journey in this world without Father, without Spirit. With retrospection, deep thought exercises, reflection with hindsight, this will become very apparent to you. I've shared these things with you because we should always be striving to use this vessel to glorify our Father, to keep developing our soul. Because the more that we grow in self-reliance and walking with the Father, improving our mental and physical abilities to the best that we can, well, there's great reward for this afterwards, as told in Scripture. Just look at the opposite and what happens. The fruits of the Spirit, the wonderful virtues, the perseverance. Did you know that procrastination, laziness, is a spirit, an entity within itself that plagues people? We must persevere in the things that we are receiving from Father. I cannot stress that enough. Everything we've received is for a reason. Do not give up, guys. Do not be shut out that kingdom. It's the worst thing you could ever do right now. We keep going forward. The good thing is, guys, we are receiving the signs that this is the end. Okay, so as I mentioned, I come across the secret sign, the seventh secret sign, which is Capricorn. And I saw a brother mention that this was a pyramid, but I've mentioned this is the pyramid. However, today looking on Stellarium, I notice Mercury is in this part of a triangle. Okay, and we have Apophis. We've got two bodies either side of the moon moving up the pyramid. Let me say that again. We've got two bodies moving up a pyramid, climbing up the pyramid to join the sun, right? Mercury and Apophis, if I can say that right. Get your words out. Right. Oh. So I was looking at Stellarium and I was looking at this image. Okay. I noticed the moon again in Aries. We've got Saturn now moving from Aquarius. We've got Pisces with Venus in Pisces. There is Neptune there too, right? And we've got the two bodies moving up to the sun. I was looking at this image this morning and I went back to this picture I shared with you we received last year. Okay, and I said Saturn in Aquarius and the moon in Aries marks an end, and we saw a sign of a separation that I can clearly see has taken place. Okay, I also noticed with the end signed, it was the 15th 11th 2024. Now, if you've been following me, I said that we've just finished the 13th month, which makes it the first month of a new year. Funny enough. And it's the 5th. 1, 5, 11. That's 2. It's the second month of the 5th, 2005, 2025. You put them numbers together, 8. There's two realities overlaid. The living amongst the dead, 88. I'm also aware with the separation that occurred on the 1st of the 11th, 2024, we get that 111. That sign happened on the 24th to the 26th. And we've just been talking about that in my previous videos of a potential high watch date. So I'm going over the convergence of these numbers and celestial events. Because again, more is now being thrown into the mix, painting us a bigger picture, more alignments, where we see a fulfillment of symbols and signs denoting an end, an opening. When there is an end, there is a beginning. We are watching for a mystical supernatural transformation with our lives, to be the pulse coming out the deep, to be taken up to the higher octaves, the spheres, where our realities come to life. So we have the moon in Aries and Saturn coming out of Aquarius. Saturn on this side of Pisces and the moon this side. All right. Pisces like a cord. Saturn and the moon. Again, the sign of an end. So we keep going. Bear with me. Remember, I shared this with you. We've got on the 9th, we've got, hang on, yeah. In the movie, the allegory of Stargate, you've got two bodies next to, again, a pyramid and sun. We got this going on the 9th. Right. Then I went back to Tyler Swift, Ice Spice Karma. Okay. This is representative of Venus, and Venus is in Pisces. Now you know why I shared that image of Venus in Pisces. All right. We are the pools coming out of the deep. One of the fish. The separation of the tares and wheat. We are now in a state where there is the living amongst the dead. Now, this got me thinking, why is there two going up the pyramid? I always thought that when I saw this scene. Why is there two? You could have had just one with the two cords, but there was two. Now I understand, because there's two bodies going up the pyramid, the secret pyramid in Capricorn. See, you've got to persevere and keep putting layer upon layer, precept upon precept, symbol upon symbol. And we start to see the convergence of the symbols, the numbers, the dates, and we can see where we're going. We can see there is this convergence and end coming, guys. Now, I know that the secret sign of the pyramid is Capricorn, because when I put in Capricorn stars, you only get these images. You don't get an image of a pyramid. Again, it's the matrix covering up the secret sign. I hope that makes sense. I've learned and seen this, been aware of this over the years. When it comes to generic man, it's like they're under a frequency where they cover up the secret signs. So looking at Capricorn, you don't see any pyramid. Isn't that funny? Yet when you look at the constellations and you do a bit more research, there is Capricorn and the pyramid. That in itself denotes to me that the system itself is trying to cover up this secret sign. And so these initiates and these learned people in certain schools of thoughts reveal a message in their music videos and movies, the allegories and anagrams. And so here we have a chord like Pisces between Saturn and the moon. So let's go back. Where are we? There it is. Again, Pisces, a chord between Saturn and the moon, which is going on today. Right, now let's not forget as well, right, Saturn, the chord, the moon. On the 5th last month, they were opening doors, okay, at the Vatican. And let's put that sign on top of this sign, end, and we got the 9th coming up. It's though there's this period where there's this now sorting out of the world's futures, the tares and wheat between the signs. This is the kind of imagery I'm getting. It's like a period of sorting, of preparation. Because I've been doing this for so long now and putting these precept upon precepts, symbols upon symbols, I'm receiving a language, a picture where it's all converging to now, and it can be challenging to articulate and convey. But hopefully you can see what it is that I'm sharing, that it will keep you encouraged, because we're in 2025 and many expected so much to happen before now, yet here we are. But I've not given up. I'm disconnected, disassociated. I'm waiting for a wonderful transformation. And I know when something happens, there's this particular thing I'm observing. When that changes, I know that I've shifted. I don't know how abrupt the translation over into the new age is going to actually occur. How abrupt, how subtle. I got a funny feeling it's going to be subtle. We will know from the wonderful blessings and restoration with our lives as prophesied in the Bible. So I'm Kenneth Andre, Tenjutsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Love you guys. Have a good day.